Hi, my name is Lavinia and this is Peter. Welcome to Games Made Easy, a channel for those who want to learn how to play and get better at board games quickly and easily. Today, to help one of our followers, Tolkien Fan Forever, I'm going to teach you and give you tips for Seven Wonders Duel, a quick but super competitive two-player game. What I enjoy the most in Seven Wonders Duel is how much tension builds between the two players as you compete for the same buildings and resources to build their respective cities. If you're new to the channel, subscribe now. Seven Wonders Duel is loosely based on Seven Wonders, but it is a standalone game. Here, you also play a city-state competing to become the most powerful civilization. You compete against another player trying to collect cards that you need, but also trying to stop the other player from getting cards he or she might need. Some elements are the same as in Seven Wonders, but I'm going to assume in this video you've never played it. There are three ways to win the game: the military and the scientific, which will stop the game immediately, or the civilian at the end of age 3. To set up the game, start by placing the board representing the military rivalry between the two players on the side. You place the conflict shield in the middle. If during the game the shield reaches all the way to a player's city, that player loses the game immediately. You move the shield with military cards like those in H1 here. Then you place the military tokens here and there. If the shield crosses that line, the opponent loses those coins. And at the end of the game, if the shield is here, for example, you get that in victory points. Then there is science and the progress tokens. There are 10 progress tokens. Now let's see what each of them does. This one gives you 7 victory points. This one will give you 3 victory points per progress token that you have by the end of the game. This one gives you 6 coins and 4 victory points. This one, every time you build a wonder, you can immediately play again. This one, every time you play a red card, you can move up the track and one more. So in this case, you would move up 2 spaces. This one, you get 6 coins, and every time you play a card that links to another card, like here, this one links to this one, you would get 4 coins. This one is 1 extra type of science. This is very cool. Basically, every time you have to buy a resource, you pay it to your opponent instead of the bank. This one, every time you buy a blue card, you can cancel 2 of the requirements needed. And this one is pretty much the same as well. You cancel 2 of the requirements when you are building the wonder. Draw 5 of them randomly and place them on the board, face up. These work with the science cards. If in the game you have 2 of the same, you win 1 of the progress tokens from the board. Then each player starts with 7 coins. You then draw for first place. Now, the game is called Seven Wonders for a reason. We've got all these wonders to play with. Shuffle them and show 4 cards face up. The first player picks 1. Then the second player will pick 2. And the first player will pick the last one. Then you draw 4 more cards and you put them face up. Then you pick 1 card, then 2, then 1, but this time start with the second player. If it's your first time playing the game, use these wonders instead. Finally, you have the help sheet and the reference page for the rules. Keep them nearby in case you need them. Now it's time to tell you more about these cards. You've already seen the red cards, so let's start with these. There are 4 cards in H1. This one is free. These 3 cost either 2 coins or a resource to buy. Notice that those you have to pay for have a white symbol on them. This means that in the following ages, a building with that symbol will be for free. So this one is the free card in the following age. You won't pay 3. When you construct one of these military buildings, you move the shield 1 step closer to the opponent. 2 and 3, you will move 2 or 3 steps closer. Then you have the green cards for science. There are also 4 of them in H1. Each have a different science. There are more in the other ages, for a total of 6 science. If during the game a player collects each of the 6 different types of science cards, the player wins the scientific victory immediately. Here, you also have a cost associated with all of them. In addition to science, some give you victory points that you'll score at the end of H3. Then you also have brown and grey cards. These are buildings that produce goods and resources you will need to construct to grow your city. You have them in H1 and H2, but not in H3, so you need to get them early on in the game. Some are free and some cost money. Now we have the blue cards. These give you victory points and link to even better buildings in H2 and 3. One of them needs stone. If you don't have a building that produces stone, you can buy it. To buy a resource, the base cost is 2 coins plus the amount produced by your opponent's city. For example, take this is player 1 and this is player 2. Player 1 would like to buy some brick. So it's going to cost them the 2 coins, which is the base cost. And because the opponent produces 1 brick, it would cost 1 more coin to buy a brick. If player 2 would like to buy stone, it would cost them the base cost, which is 2 coins, plus the opponent produces 2 stones. So it would be 1 more coin for each stone. So that would be 4 coins. You always give the money to the bank, not the other player, even if the other player produces that resource. For this, we only count resources produced by grey and brown cards, not by yellow cards. These actually help you buy resources. Yellow cards help with your economy. They can give you coins and they can make resources cheaper. So for these, for instance, you would pay only 1 to produce that resource, no matter how many resources your opponent is producing. For these, you would actually produce 1 of the resources per turn. So it's either this one or that one. In this case, you would pick either wood, brick, or stone per turn. Remember to place all your cards in front of you. They are not discarded unless the card says otherwise. These cards produce each turn for the rest of the game. So this player produces 2 brick, a wood, glass, and a stone, and can also buy as many bricks as he wants for a fixed cost of 1 coin. Now we can start playing the game. We start by building the decks. Return 3 cards of each age randomly back to the box. Then randomly draw 3 guild cards and put them on the 3rd age. At the beginning of each age, shuffle the deck and place the 20 cards of that age as shown here. This will show you how to set up the game for each age. All 3 ages play in the same way. Each player takes turns picking 1 accessible card at a time, like these. So say one player takes this one, the other player takes that one. Suddenly this one is accessible now, so we turn it over. The player can do 1 of 3 actions with that card. 1 is to keep it as a building in their city. 2, sell it and discard it. Or 3, use the card to build a wonder. Now, we've seen how to buy a card. Let's have a look at how to sell. For instance, it's this player's turn and the player wants to take this card and sell it. So you get 2 coins for selling a card, you discard it, but then you get also 1 extra coin for every yellow card you have. So in this case, it would be 2 coins. So a total of 4 for selling that card. Discarded cards go face down in a pile. Players can check the discard at any time. Now the 3rd option is to use the card to build a wonder. Do not buy the card, so you don't pay these requirements. You put it under the wonder and you pay the cost of the wonder, which is here. And then you resolve the benefits immediately. In this case, you would play again immediately and you would get 6 victory points. Let's have a look at the rest. This one, with this symbol, all of these symbols are victory points. Here, you pick 3 progress tokens from the box and you keep 1. This is the military tracker that we've seen. You move up 2 spaces, and this one is resources that you pick one or the other per turn and you play again. This one is the same. It's a choice of resources and victory points. You get coins here and you play again. This one is the same. You get a bit more distribution, 6, play again, and victory points. This one is purely points. This one is military, but your opponent loses a brown card and some points. Here also, you lose a grey card, you move up the tracker and you get some points. This one here, you will get some coins, your opponent loses some coins, you play again and you get some points. And here, you go into the discard pile and you pick a card that you like and you don't pay the cost for it. You get some points. Once all the cards for an age are played, you set up the next age. The player who is the weakest on the military track chooses who starts. So in this case, it would be this player here. If the shield is in the middle, then the player who played the last card decides who starts. Age 2 cards are slightly more powerful than Age 1, but pretty much the same. In Age 3, however, cards start to be pretty different as you add 3 guild cards to the deck. These are all the available guild cards in the game. You will play with only 3 at a time. So let's have a look at these cards. These are type of cards. So when you play this card, you will look at which player has the most green cards. And at the time that you play it, you will get 1 coin for every card that player has. At the end of the game, whoever has the most of this color of cards, you will get 1 victory point per card. In this one, they join. So you need to pick a player with the most brown or grey cards. And when you play the card, you'll get 1 victory point per brown and grey card. And at the end of the game, you get 1 victory point. For this one, pick the player who has completed the most wonders, and you will get 2 victory points per wonder completed. And this one, pick the player who has made the most money, because you will get, for every 3 coins that player has made, you will get 1 victory point. As soon as a player reaches a military or scientific victory, the game ends immediately. Otherwise, the game ends at the end of Age 3. You count the points using this. You put your names here, then you count how many points you've made from the blue cards, the green cards, the yellow, the purple, how many points from wonders completed, if you have any points from the progress tokens, and if you have points from gold you have, it's a 3-to-1, 3 coins for 1 point. And if you have any points from the military tracker, then you add them up and whoever has the most points wins the game. In case of a tie, the player with the most victory points from the blue buildings wins the game. If there's still a tie, then you play again. My tips to win at 7 Wonders Duel are, even if you go all out with the military, it's hard to win. However, you can still do a lot of damage and get some victory points. When you pick your wonders, try to pick wonders that overlap in terms of resources, because it will make it easier for you to build a wonder and you won't have to get such a variety of resources. Try to get the resources your opponent will need to build a wonder to make it more expensive for them. Cumulative effects of cards and wonders can be very powerful. Those wonders where you can play immediately again can give you a big edge. Now, winning through science is also hard, but if you get enough science cards in the first and second age, you could be very hard to stop on the third age. That's how you play 7 Wonders Duel. It's a great 2-player game. The more you play it, the more fun it gets. It takes about half an hour. If you've enjoyed this video, like and subscribe, or leave in the comments a game you'd like us to teach. We'll make more games easy soon. Bye now.